Hey everyone, welcome to the Church Brand Guide podcast. My name is Michael Prasad. Just want to welcome you here today as we get ready to dive into a great topic. In fact, we're going to get started here in just a moment, but before we do, just wanted to remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also our podcast if you haven't done so. Also let us know a little bit about who you are. Leave a review and just let us know if we're helping you. That really helps get the word out. And then we use some of those reviews to just allow people to know what we do and how we help people in with this resource of Church Brand Guide and all the different things that we provide. So thanks again for joining me. My name is Michael Prasad, and we're going to jump right into our topic today. The big idea is that we want to take a look at this church that we just came across that wanted to rebrand to reach young families in their town. And that's something that we've seen a lot of churches trying to do at this time. We get several calls to help churches to rebrand, to be able to reach a younger demographic that might be moving into their town or that's coming up in their area, and they just need to be able to do that more strategically. So before we get into the meat of that, and we talk about East Lake Church, which is the church we worked with, here's what we see. Most churches struggle to communicate their vision in a way that causes people to contribute to it. You know, if you're out there and you're a pastor or a communications person, it's hard to cut through the noise in your community. It's just a hard job. I used to do that. I used to be a communication director, and it was a struggle to cut through the noise of everything that's going on. There's all these different channels on social media, YouTube. There's your TV and your sports that are already happening as well. And somehow, as a church, you have to cut through the noise and be able to reach people. So that's hard. And there's a bunch of different tactics, all sorts of ideas that are out there of how to do this. You know, you can use Facebook strategies or Instagram strategies or YouTube or have a blog. There's just a lot of things going on. How do you know even what to do? And the other part of it is that your time is limited. You can't do everything. You're probably already doing something else, and you're wearing multiple hats in the church. You might even have another job. So your time is limited, and your resources are limited. As a nonprofit, you probably don't have a great deal of financial resources to pour into maybe hiring things or getting things done for you, so you end up doing a lot of it. So there's a bunch of limitations where it causes churches to struggle, church leaders to struggle in communicating in a way that is easy for people to buy into, and so where they decide they want to come and then be a part of it. So with that being said, I wanted to show you this. It's a communication system. I want to tell you about this. Really what it does is help you go from being confused about everything we've just talked about. Like, what's the right strategy? What's the right marketing, thing to do, the platform to use? What's the right website to develop? There's all sorts of ways you can develop a website, from Squarespace to WordPress and everything else in between. So we want to help you go from being confused to having a plan. A proven plan that we know works. We want to give that to you, and then help you become the expert in your church of what your brand is. So, for example, we're part of Vibrant Church. I moved my family down to South Florida to be part of this new church plant that's happening, and we help to brand Vibrant Church. And as a result of that, like I kind of have a good feel for what the church is all about. So, same thing with Pastor Brandon. If you're the pastor, you have a good feel for what the church is about because God gave you the vision and it makes sense. But, so we decided, as part of our, interest meeting, so we have these interest meetings, about 3 of them, for this one that we just had, we would order, milkshakes. So Pastor Brandon decided these milkshakes were, going to be really good and a really good fit for the brand because they were over the top. Like, they had a milkshake, but then there's like a cookie in the milkshake with whipped cream, and they dipped the cup halfway up with chocolate, so you kind of lick the cup, and they did all these special treatments with the milkshake. So it wasn't just a regular milkshake. And the idea was to illustrate the point of the church, which is to help people live a better story. The brand of the church, the vision of the church is that no matter where you are in life, there's a better story that you can live. And that's what we wanted to lean into. So there's milkshakes, but then there's a better milkshake. So we decided that it was worth it to pay the extra money to have this food truck come out and to help us illustrate that idea through something as simple as a milkshake. So you being the brand expert helps you to make decisions that are clear. It's not a gimmick. It's not just an idea that you grab from somewhere, but it truly is a genuine fit for your brand. And that's what I hope for you. That's what I want for you. That's what the Church Brand Guide platform is all about, to help you go from being confused to having a plan and to becoming an expert. And then the plan is really simple, honestly. There's just 4 parts to it. You can become that branding expert in your church if you get 4 things right. 1 is that you get clear. Just clear about who you are and who you serve. 2 is create the experience. So based on who you are, who you serve, create the right experience. Number 3 is attract people. So you have to be able to get new people coming in. That's what helps the church to stay healthy and do what it needs to do. And then number 4 is get buy-in. So once you attract people, your job isn't done. Like getting people on campus is not the end. You have to be able to get them to buy in. You have to be able to communicate well so that they are able to say, I want to be a part of that and I want to contribute to it ultimately. So this is what it looks like to get this right. If you do these 4 things, get clear, create the experience, attract people, and get buy-in. If you do those 4 things over and over and over and over again, over time, you're going to really build something great. You'll see more people coming to your church. You'll see more life change happening, and you'll have more people contributing to the vision. So we just need to have a system in place, and I want to present that to you in different ways. So we want you to become a branding expert. We want you to be really, really good at turning strangers into contributors. So when you have the system down, that's what you're able to do. You have a very, very clear idea of what it takes to, in your community, specific to the people that you serve, because it's different in different communities. It's different based on the audience you're trying to serve. What does that look like? But you just need to know what it is to do, and then you can make those decisions on, is this right or is it not for our brand? The second thing is we want you to be a good steward of your resources. So I don't know if you've ever been there, but maybe you've had to rush something and pay the extra shipping fee because you just weren't prepared ahead of time. Or maybe you did something and you spent a good deal of money on it, but then after the thing was over, the event was over, you realized that was just not the right move. We just blew whatever that amount of money was. Well, it doesn't feel good. Like I've been there and I've done that. And it doesn't feel good to know that God's entrusted you with what resources you have. And then for you not to use it right, it just doesn't feel good. So I want to help you, with this plan, this idea of creating a brand clarity. You could say yes to the right things and no to the wrong things because you're clear. You're clear on it. So us saying yes to the milkshakes made sense. It cost extra money, but it was going to feed the vision, and we knew it was the right move for us. So I wanted to just tease an idea that's coming up. I'll tell you a little bit more about it later on, but I'm seeing more of a need for this where we serve clients, but then after we serve clients, there's need for us to just continue, for me to continue to work with them to help them get clarity in their brand. So I'm starting a membership, and I've been kind of teasing it over the last few weeks, but I'm actually going to do it. I'm actually going to launch it on Tuesday of next, on May 14th, which is next week from this recording. And just want to let you know about it. Basically, I want to help you through this membership become your brand's expert. And to help you see more guests, to see more life change happening, and to see more support happening in your church. Really what it is a Zoom call for about 30 minutes weekly, and then we'll do some coaching and provide some systems. So I think the power is like, not only do you get the coaching, but I'll also be able to give you like the documents. Like I can't tell you how many times I've done something on Facebook Live and somebody will ask me, hey, can I get that file? Can I get that document? And when I've sent it, like people get it and they don't know what to do with it. So now I'm able to provide those things, but you'll be able to do it and actually execute it for your church. And the other thing to keep in mind is that this is a beta group. I'm just launching this, and we're gonna jump in, and it's going to be great. I'm going to share some really good stuff, like I am today, that'll really help you as a church pastor, as a church communicator, when it comes to your marketing and attracting people. It'll be really helpful and very, very practical. But I just want to take it one step at a time, so it's not overwhelming for you. And I want to get your feedback. How do I make this better? And we'll just do the Zoom conference call so that it's kind of like a webinar. That way I can get your feedback, and you can ask me questions directly. And then that way I can make sure I serve you well through this. And the price point is going to be at $37. We'll talk more about that later. That's the price point that I think most churches can jump in, or just about every church can jump in. So that's my hope. So that this starts, if we're going to build a brand, and we'll get to Eastlake here in just a little bit, but I want to set up the conversation of where the branding came from for Eastlake Church. We designed this new logo package and a brand and website for them, and I'll show you those things in just a few minutes. But it starts with asking the question of who are we serving? Who is the target audience? Who are we trying to reach? And then from there, we build everything to reach them. So if you're trying to sell a project, a widget, and your favorite color is yellow, but nobody in that field likes the color yellow, well, you're probably going to have a little bit of a struggle selling it because you just built it for yourself. You didn't build it for your audience. So we want to make sure we build towards your audience. As we create the website, choose fonts and colors and design your logo, we just want to make sure your audience is going to say, I like that, because that's what matters the most. You should like it, but they should love it. So an easy way to do this is that if you're trying to figure out your target audience, just start with an upside down triangle. In the triangle, list out every single type of person you can think of in your community. List out single mom, young millennial that's just graduated out of college, dad, maybe it's a new dad. List out all the different things you can think of that's in your area. Maybe it's like retired person, or maybe it's business person, or maybe it's students. List it all out. And then at the bottom of that triangle, that upside down triangle, pick one. Pick one that you feel you can reach the best. As a church, as a leader, one that you can serve the best. And then write down what are their values and what are some problems that they have. And make sure you know those things. Write them down. And then what we're going to do is, over time, you need to build your brand to serve them. So if they're lonely and they need friendship, maybe you build a brand around the idea of belonging somewhere. Maybe there's someone who needs, they just want to find meaning to life. And a lot of times when you determine your target audience, it's not necessarily a demographic. It's not a 22-year-old woman. It doesn't have to be like that. That's Hispanic. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be a mindset. So you might have a mindset of somebody that's like, hey, they just want a way that their life could make a difference. And you build a whole brand around that. Like, how can I help people make a difference in this world? And your whole brand is around that idea. So write that down. That's kind of how you begin to determine what your brand's going to look like. It starts with your audience. Start with that person that you know you can serve really, really well. The thing you need to know about a brand is that branding is not about a logo. It's a lifestyle. You are designing something for the lifestyle of the people that you are trying to reach. So that's a whole new mentality that most people don't have when it comes to branding. Branding is not a logo. The logo is just a part of it. Another way to say it is this. Your brand is your spirit. It's the spirit of your church. We're just defining it. So if your church, every church has a soul. It has a way it operates, and the way your music is shaped, and the type of messages that you have, and the type of people that are attracted to it. That's your spirit. That's what it is. And branding is just another way to say that. It's a way that I say it because it's a systematic way to think about it. How can you create systems around the spirit of your church so that you attract people consistently over time and provide a great experience designed just for them? if your logo wasn't on anything, people should still be able to tell what your brand is. So your logo doesn't define your brand. If people were to walk through your hallways, if they were to go to your website, if they were to, browse around and take a look, they should be able to tell you what the brand is, even if the logo is not on it. Another way to put it is, if your brand was like a car company, what are the 3 car companies that best represent your church? What are the 3 clothing companies that best represent your church? Like, it's the style. Like, what are those words that describe those car companies, or the clothing company, or the restaurant, or maybe what are 3 corporations that best represent your church? Think about it through those lenses, because that'll help you think about how do you create an experience that reaches the audience that they are reaching. You need to be authentic. It has to be genuine to who you are. You can't fake it. You can't try to be something that you're not. People can tell. It needs to be based on who you are, and then you provide an experience out of that. So if somebody's doing something really cool, they have a ministry that's really cool down the street, don't just pick up that ministry and try to do it. It has to be genuine to who you are, or else it just doesn't work. You've probably experienced that before if you've ever been in church world, where you tried something and, man, it just didn't have the result that you thought it would. That church down there did that really well. How come we didn't have that same result? Another thing about a brand is that it has to include testimonies. Testimonies are kind of something that's overlooked, but you need to put out there stories of people that are loving the church, and they look just like the person that you're trying to reach. So choose to take photos and to create videos of people. Again, let's use the example of the mindset of people that want to have an impact with their life. So find people that have been having an impact with their life in your church, and take their photo, take their story, create a video out of it, whatever that starts to look like, and put those things out there. Because that's what people are going to resonate with. They love stories. They want to see social proof, which is a testimonial, that what they think they're coming into is really what they're coming into. It builds trust. And then as a brand, a good brand has some easy next steps and a very consistent way that you communicate those next steps. So a language. So let's jump in. So those are some things to hopefully help you out as you look to build your brand. Let's jump into the brand for Eastlake Church, so that we can just take a look at what we did for them. So Eastlake is a church that wants to reach young families. They want to kind of reinvent themselves to be a place where young mothers and fathers feel like they can bring their kids, and that their kids can come and experience something that's real and authentic and want to be part of it and want to come back. So this is the logo design that we have for them. And if you're on video, you can see this. If you're not, I'll describe it. It says Eastlake and then church. Church is smaller underneath Eastlake. We used a font called Big Noodle. And Big Noodle is a great font that's kind of fun and playful. And then church is more of a straight line font. It's actually Gotham that we're using for that. And then on the left, we have a mark that's kind of this wavy looking E. So you can kind of see an E, but it's not really apparent at first. But after a while, you can kind of squint and blur your eyes a little bit, and you kind of see that E popping out. So that's what the logo is. And we created a logo that could work on various types of media that would look good in different ways. We have 2 variations, a horizontal and then a vertical. And we just wanted to give a lot of flexibility. So the mark could be used by itself, or you could use the vertical based on the layout that you have a need for. So like on a website, a horizontal is great for a website, but like maybe you have a manual on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You might want a vertical logo to kind of match the shape of that manual. We're also providing some fonts and some colors, and that kind of lends into the branding guide. So I'm going to just give you a quick preview of the branding guide. So this is a document that really just locks down who this brand is, what this brand is, what's the story they're trying to tell, and who are they trying to invent to become part of this story. So we have these different diagrams and different things in place to create a consistent experience. Like, this is how we do things around here. And just a little side note, in our membership, this is what I'll be able to unpack for you to help you do this for your church in those 4 areas that we talked about. Getting clear about who you are and who you serve, creating an experience that's consistent for them, then creating the right type of messaging to attract people, and then finally getting people to buy in. So we want to walk through all 4 of those things. It's going to take about 12 weeks or so to do that with you. But at the end of it, you'll be your branding expert that'll know, you'll have a document, you'll have a lot of these things in place, so you know the right thing to do and the wrong things not to do. This page is really great. This is it shows a lot of language for your brand, and we have some phrases on like the lower right there. You can see some phrases like hope is here, you belong, the best is yet to come. These are just phrases that we've defined that fits the brand. And you need some of those things. You need to define it. People need to see those messages over and over and over again. We need to lock down your logo so that it's designed and it's only presented in a certain way. We need to have fonts that are consistent, colors that are consistent. When people walk into an environment or see on your website, they feel that, even if they don't know it. And a good brand pays attention to that. We need to have a design style that's defined. Like, this is what it looks like to design for the church. Active and all these different words you might be able to think about. You need to have a photography style and a video style that you can get consistent production every single time you have photos or videos taken. That's what you want. So that's what it looks like for Eastlake Church, and that's what you should be thinking about as you're building your brand. Those are the types of questions. Those are the types of thoughts you should be having. Like, how do we build a brand? It's not just about a logo. Again, a brand is not a logo. That's part of a brand, a very small part of the brand. You should have a really good logo. But the bigger part of a brand is that you need to build it around a lifestyle. When people walk into your church, they should say, hey, this looks like it's just for me. And that's what great brands do. So once again, the membership is open right now. If you go to churchbrandguide.com, you'll be able to see the membership tab, or you can go churchbrandguide.com/membership. Let me help you by serving as your communications director. I want to help you become your brand's expert. It's all about those 4 areas. We're going to take about 12 weeks to go through that content. The 30-minute Zoom conference calls where I can interact with you, and I'll provide systems where you can customize a lot of this stuff. I'll give you the documents, show you how to customize it for your church. You'll be part of the founding group of people, and I just want to invite you to be a part of that. You'll help me shape this, and it'll be really great moving forward. So come on in. Let's see more guests come to your church and more life change happening, and for you to see ultimately more support for the ministry and the vision that God has given you through being a part of this membership. So again, Eastlake Church, hopefully that really helps you, and we love to share some of the stuff that we're working on from time to time, just as a way for you to see what do other churches look like and share ideas with you. So thanks for joining me on this Facebook Live. I will click over here and on this podcast. So we did a little combo this week. I'm trying it out. We like to try things all the time. Great brands do that. They try things, and it's kind of a ready, fire, aim approach sometimes. But we want to provide more content on a consistent basis. So I'm doing a Facebook Live, recording that, and we're gonna publish the same thing onto our podcast. And then that way we have more content to share with people. So hopefully this is helpful to you. Thanks for joining me. Click on that membership tab. I'll leave a comment after this with a direct link to it, if that's something that's interesting to you. If you have any questions, let me know as well. And I'll have some more Facebook Lives this week just as a way to connect with you a little bit more regularly. So Chris is asking if these documents are available for download. Again, I get that question all the time. They are not available for download right now, but they are available for download in the membership. So if you're able to be a part of the membership, again, it's only $37 a month. I think it's kind of a mastermind group. So I want to create a price point that's going to be affordable for everybody. In the future, honestly, I think it's going to be it might be at least double that. But for right now, I want to provide a really low bar for you to jump in, help me to build this thing, and then eventually that price will bump up. But you have access to the documents, and I'll be able to share step by step, like how do you go through building a brand? How do you go through getting clear? Let's take one document at a time. Let me help you create that document. And then once you create that document and it's great for your church, then let's move on to the next step. And we're not going to go too fast, because what I found is that a lot of times people get overwhelmed by all this information that's out there. So I want to provide one clear system that'll help you get this right for your church, and just take it one step at a time at a good pace, so we're not trying to do too much all at once. And I can hold your hand through it, answer your questions, and be able to guide you through creating this for your church. So yes, I guess ultimately your answer is yes, the documents are available. Jump into the membership, click on the join button, sign up, and next week we're going to start into it. So jump in. I'll give you some information about that. We'll do the live sessions, but if you can't make it to the live ones with the Zoom call, I will record those and provide those to you as a playback. So no worries if you can't make it. It's best if you can, because then we can have an interaction. But if you can't, it's okay. All right. Thanks again for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Take care. You know, man.